Oh yeah, Black Sun in the Hizzle, all for shizzle dizzle. We got an excellent show here today. Y'all see the title? Son, my son shot this one to me. I was like, oh, Trump's DOJ to restore gun rights to convicted felons. Now, I think Georgia is the first state that's going to. Well, I think the DOJ is trying to do this nationwide. Georgia, my son sent me a clip. And then I did my research and found another clip here in Georgia. And so there were two attorneys that spoke on it. And so they're probing it right now as we speak. I think it's a great idea. However, just like the attorney said, there should be a period of time when a person convicted of a crime should be, I guess, like a grace period, like especially like if you've done like restitution, probation, parole, whatever it is, if you've gone past 5 years without any type of like charges or infractions, well, when you say infractions, that includes parking tickets and traffic violations. So any type of like criminal charges, if you are a person who's been convicted of a crime, a felony, what's going on, Chubbs? What's going on, Tina? So I don't know if you guys heard that news, man. So yeah, the DOJ, man, Trump is taking it back to like the old days of America because during olden times, you had people, especially out west, and during the frontier era, who were convicted, and once they got out of jail and prison, they gave them a gun, gave them a rifle, and they sent them on their way. It wasn't until the Democrats in our time started making a fuss about people having guns, people having backgrounds, and all this shit. But like I said, if a person has committed a felony and then has a grace period where they don't commit any crimes, then yeah, I say restore their gun rights. Restore their gun rights because um, Hunter Biden, Hunter Biden was able to buy a gun. You know what I'm saying? So they're talking about drug offenses and domestic violence and violent crimes and all that. Like I said, if a person has truly reformed themselves and they've gone past a 5 year period, yeah, restore their gun rights. Because now what's happening is and shout out to Michael Franchese, Chubbs, and Tina. I don't know if are you guys subscribed to Michael Franchese? Because um, he's one of the very people that I look at and who has uh, well, like, there's a lot of people who are former convicted felons, but he is making a lot of moves. And so he was surprised to find out that he could vote. Like, he was like, oh my gosh, he was very surprised about that. But I've been known about, convicted felons being able to vote. But I knew eventually when you have so many convicted felons vote, you restore their voting rights. Now you will be able to restore the gun rights. But now is where the rubber hits the road because when you become registered to vote, you have to go on jury, pools and all that, serving juries, and it's a whole lot of things and responsibility that goes along with it. So I think your gun rights should be restored. Like I said, if you're able to vote and serve on a jury, let's look at this. If you register to vote, they're most likely to call you to have jury duty. So you mean to tell me I can vote and I'm required to do jury duty, but I can't own a gun? So yeah. I mean, come on, man. Yeah, it gets to the point where some things just make it should just it should be a given. CO6, same thing. Number sevens, it should just be a given because again, convicted felons that are voting rights, a lot of them have to do jury duty. And jury duty only pays $12, I think, a day or a week or something like that. I think it's $12 a day. I had a friend that did jury duty, and she only said they only paid her $12 a day, and I was like, huh? Or no, something like, I don't know, it was something small and not even worth it. Yes, sevens, yes, ma'am. So I was like, damn. But I mean, that's a whole. Actually, that's a whole nother video, y'all, about them not paying us for jury duty. That's a whole nother, you know, that's a whole nother bag of chips. We're not going to discuss jury duty right now and the peanuts that they pay. But what I'm saying is that if you're obligated to do that, then you should obligated and be responsible to own a firearm. I mean, hell, it's. But like I said, I would say, yeah, let them go past the grace period. Like I said, and I think 5 years is enough time. You know, 5 years is definitely long enough to, uh, be a reasonable amount of time to. And I'm being like conservative when I say 5 years, but I think 5 years. Like you said, you got people like Michael Franchese who has been 30 years clean, 20 years clean. So yeah, they definitely should get their guns rights back. Like you said, you got Michael Franchese, you got people like who else? Michael Franchese. There's some other people. Oh shit, this thing is not working. Come on now. There we go. He's the first YouTuber that I think of, Michael Franchese, that I think of. Former. Uh, is it no? Not the Gambinos. That's Sammy the Bull. Franchese was part of the Michael Franchese. He always says the name of the family, but I can't, I can't keep up with all these damn mafia families. But um, he definitely. If you guys are not subscribed to him, I'm subscribed to him, and he's grown on me. I've read his books. Yeah, man, the guy is very intelligent, and so for him to be all mixed up, mixed into the he did. Oh, by the way, I posted a video. He interviewed Lindy Lee last night. So yeah, it's just funny how I watched the interview with Michael Franchese, Lindy Lee, and then my son sends me that thing with the DOJ or storing gun rights. So let me see what y'all say about that, because I'm for it. I'm for it because I know a lot of I personally know a lot of felons that own their own businesses um, that are very successful, and it would be better for them to have their own firearm as to opposed to hiring bodyguards, because bodyguards can get very expensive. So yeah, I would just say I think it would, and I'm not against bodyguards, but you know, if I could just own a firearm myself, I ain't got to hire all these guys to be around me. I mean, I'm just saying because you got a lot of like Wes Watson. He's one. I guess he has bodyguards. I'm not sure, but like I said, you got a lot of high profile uh, ex felons who are in positions where they need protection because they're making six figures or better. They're making like crazy money out here. So yeah, they need protection, and a lot of them have to hire bodyguards, and it's like that shit is expensive, But I don't know. I'm putting it out there, but let me read and get some of y'all comments because y'all got my take on it. But let me hear what you guys have to take. So Tina says, I feel like if you are out of jail and no longer on parole, then the parole should have all rights restored. I agree, Tina. I agree. Like, yeah, once, now, I like what you're saying. Once you're off paper, boom, it's restored. And guess what? Once you're off paper, you can vote right away. You can vote right away here in Georgia. I can't speak for any other state. Registration damn jails, and to people who were like that only like in prison that only had like less than 2 weeks, they were registering them to vote. This is during the Obama administration. Now, y'all, you know, I'm not crazy about Democrats, but like I've said earlier, I did another video on it, but I didn't get no notifications went out, but apparently y'all got the notification this time, but I guess I did a better title. But let me say this, y'all. Democrats are the ones that screwed this up, and now during the Obama administration, that's why Obama got hired at the right, was the president at the right time. So was Clinton. Clinton was the president at the right time. Obama was the president at the right time, and Trump is the president at the right time. And it took Trump losing, or Lindy Lee has some opinions about that. She said they cheated, and she's a Democrat. Trump losing the second time woke up a lot of people for Trump to get his landslide the third time. So that's the way I look at it. Yeah, a lot of people were upset about 2020, but if it wasn't for 2020, Trump wouldn't have got his landslide in 2024. So we kind of, you know, we could be mad, but not be mad. I don't know if that makes sense to y'all, but let me, Chubb says, good morning, Blackson. Good morning to you, Chubbs, man. Chubbs, man, I'm doing good this morning. Let me, Tina said, I feel like, okay, so Joker, what up? What up, Joker? What up? Hoorah, 3%. Now, let me just say this. Felons getting their gun right restored, that's going to increase the membership of the goddamn 3%ers and a lot of militias. And that's a good thing. That's not a bad thing. That is a good thing because a lot. But, you know, what I will say about the militias, this is what I'll say, just like in the military, it will increase your membership and it produces more patriots. And patriots are more likely to be more law-abiding citizens. Now, even if you have a person who has a criminal background, if you allow them to vote and be part of society, like I said, Michael Franchese is a good example, man. Brother's a patriot, you know, born again Christian, blah, 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 this and that and the other. So I'm all for it. I'm all for it. Like I said, I am 100% for it. This protects America actually against any type of invasion. Y'all know I think on a whole different level. I think on a level of invasion. Now, we do have some domestic problems, but like Tina said, once you get off probation and parole, hell, you get your voting rights restored, and if they choose, they will call you to do jury duty. I've known people right when they get off probation and parole and they got their voting rights restored, I know people personally that were convicted and they called them for jury duty. So now that I'm thinking back at it, I'm like, damn, you restore voting rights, you require them to come to jury duty, restore the gun rights. Restore the gun rights. So you trust me to vote and you trust me to go sit on a jury, but you don't trust me with a firearm? Yeah, let them have the firearm, man. Let them restore it, because back in original time and back in post Civil War and even pre-Civil War, Americans were allowed to, they, like I said, once you got out of prison and jail, they gave you a gun, especially in the frontier, because that's all you had was your to eat. I mean, especially if you're a meat eater, a lot of y'all eat meat, so a lot of y'all have ancestors and forefathers that went into the frontiers and had to rely on the shotgun for your food. So you had to go either shoot a deer, shoot an elk, or shoot some type of animal to eat. We didn't have damn McDonald's and Kroger and all this shit. So Trump is thinking like a frontiersman. We might have to go back to that time where we might have to shoot meats and all that stuff. You know, I keep telling y'all make fun of me because I'm a vegan, but I know how to shoot game. Like I said, if you ever shoot a squirrel, you can shoot anything, because squirrels are the most fastest moving creatures and the most, you know, they don't keep still. Rabbits keep still and deers keep still. And they got way more meat than squirrels. So if you can pick off a squirrel, you can pick off any animal in the goddamn woods. That's a whole nother video. You know, if I start doing survival videos again, I'll do that. But even if that's a whole nother, I guess that's a whole nother video, y'all. But I'm saying, yeah, I'm for, but especially if they've gone through a period, like I said, 10 years, 5 years, 10 years, 15 years, 20 years, 30 years. Yeah, restore that person's right. They, without a doubt, have proven, they have proven that, you know, that they're not with the shenanigans, especially if a person committed these crimes when they were younger, like in their 20s and all that, and then they do their time, and now they're in their 40s and 50s and sick. Man, come on, give them their guns back, man. Especially when we get of age, man. Yeah, man. A lot of times, you know, and I'm not condoning it. A lot of times when guys are young, we do dumb shit, stupid shit, and it's easy to get felonies. Let me tell you, it's easy to get a felony, but as we get older, we get more wiser, and some people get reformed. You know, some people get reformed. Some people start businesses, and some people get married and buy houses and become productive in society. Is what I'm saying. So yeah, and a lot of these people are voters. So again, you got people again here in Georgia. All convicted felons can vote. Period. And this has been going on, like I said, I want to say even before Obama. Now, well, you know, Obama, I know it was official, but I can remember people being convicted of a felony and still, I was hearing about people, like I said, if they were in prison and they only had 2 weeks before they released, they were getting registrations. So, but I'm guessing, now this is what I'm guessing, y'all. I'm guessing these are people that were getting out that didn't have no probation or parole, and they maxed out. Um, a lot of times in these probation offices here in Georgia, again, everything I'm speaking for Georgia, they would encourage you to register to vote when you're about to get off probation or parole. Well, I don't know about parole, because I know people that were on probation, and they would say, "Yeah, man, are you registered to vote?" Again, this is during Obama. These were Democrats, and like I said, I'm not an advocate for Democrats at all. I am not. In fact, I hate that we took a hit in Wisconsin. That's a whole nother video. We won in Florida in the special elections, but we lost in Wisconsin. I'm not going to talk about that right now, but I do want to say that under Obama, they were registering convicted felons. So I'm like thinking, if you registering convicted felon, eventually these felons are going to all come together and vote on their gun rights back. Because again, convicted felons have a lot in common with non-convicted felons. Both convicted felons and non-convicted felons don't want to sit on a jury and only get paid $12 a week. Y'all didn't hear me. Y'all, no. Y'all, Tina, you didn't hear me. Joker, you didn't hear me. Chubbs, you didn't hear me. Nobody in the chat heard me. Convicted felons and non-convicted felons both have something in common. They both don't want to sit on a jury pool and get only paid $12 a week. Y'all didn't hear me. I don't know what y'all get paid in y'all state, but if you get called for jury duty, you only get $12 a week. Like, what the hell you gonna do with $12 a week? I'm sorry, let me not rant about pay. I told you I wasn't gonna do the jury duty. I wasn't gonna do that. But you know, I've heard a lot of grievances about the jury duty. Luckily, they've never picked me. They never picked me because, I guess because I got dreadlocks. I don't know, but I've noticed a lot of times here in Georgia, they always want to have a jury full of women and maybe like elderly people, but they don't never want like young looking guys. Now, I'm an older guy, but I look young, I guess. And when they went to pick me, I didn't have this gray hair. I had like my beard and mustache was black. So and my eyebrows were black too, and my sideburns were black. So everything was black. It was no gray. So I want to say, I'm assuming people thought I had this youthful look. Now that I got gray, people are hesitant. Or, I don't get the whole uh, look no more, because when I told people my age before my grade, people kind of give me a look like, so, drink water every day. That's the secret. Anywho, I'm sorry, y'all. I'm ranting. But yeah, man, I think, again, Trump's DOJ, I think this is a wonderful, good thing, man. And again, if you guys ask me, I'm thinking from a international point of view. I'm thinking about invasion. Like, if we were to be invaded, no country is going to invade an armed society. Think about that. Joker already knows, hoorah, hoorah, Joker knows. But I think a lot of y'all know that a country would be very hesitant. Russia, China, Canada, Mexico, the drug cartels, they would be very hesitant if they knew that every citizen was armed. Okay? Y'all read about the frontier when we had the Spanish American War, the Indian Wars, all these, well, I don't want to say Indian Wars because they're Americans too, but all like Spanish and all these different countries that tried to get buck with early America knew that we were all armed. And so Trump is taking us back to that, man. Um, Again, I'm for it, y'all. But let me read the comments because I want to. So Tina, she's all for it. Um, I know. Let me. Let's see. Chubb says, I realize. I agree. Restoring the rights. I know a guy in his younger days committed a crime and became a felon 25 years ago. 25 years later, owned a farm and has wife and kids. Right. And still can't hold the gun. Right. See, stuff like that, Chubbs. I'm like, 25 years, and this guy was young. He's a different person now. He has a wife and he has a farm. Yeah, give that man a gun. Let that man have his rights back. Yeah, that's a no-brainer. It's a no-brainer. It's not. He's not even the same person. First of all, he's married with a child. That right there sets you apart from being the younger you. If you are married and with a child and you got your own business, yeah, he is not. He is definitely not the same person. He is definitely not the same person. He is definitely a different person because, y'all, excuse me, my voice. I apologize. My voice is gone. Oh shit. I need some water. Hold on. Hold on. Let me get some water. Oh, hold on. Here we go. Hold on, y'all. Damn, I never had my voice go out like that. Mm. Ah. Mm. Ah. I'm sorry, y'all. The pollen is real heavy out here in Georgia. Everything is blooming springtime, so that pollen gets in my throat and it will take my vocal cords out. So I have to constantly. That's why y'all hear me constantly clearing my throat because the pollen. I'm sorry, y'all. I'm sorry. So anywho, yeah. That's a different person. When a man, when a man gets married, or when a man has a child, or when a man owns a business and he's doing all three, yeah, he's a different person. His mindset is different. Trying to. He's not trying to risk losing his wife, his kids, his business. Yeah, man. Yeah. So yeah, and as an American citizen, he has to protect that. You got to protect your family. You got to protect your child. You got to protect your business. And let me just say this: being a farmer alone, like it's not even well. You do want to own a gun, but owning a gun is just not only for protection, but I mean for protection for like somebody trying to rob you, right? Or protect your home. But if you are a farmer, you got to protect yourself from critters. You got to protect farm crop from squirrels, country, you automatically need a gun, especially if you especially if you own a farm, you have to shoot them damn critters. You know, and I know that sounds weird coming from a plant-based person, right? You got to shoot them damn critters, man. You got to shoot them squirrels, because them squirrels and possums and raccoons will tear up your garden. The deers, the rabbits, they will tear up. And see, this is why. Can I tell y'all a little story real quick? I mean, y'all may agree or disagree. All of us come from them ancestors that were all vegans. We became vegans because the animals kept eating up our crops, so we ate them. That's how we became carnivores and shit. And when I say carnivores, omnivores. This is how we proceeded to eat meats, and we're like, oh man, the meat tastes good. And this is how now we eat meats. But our ancestors, a lot of our ancestors didn't eat meat. A lot of our ancestors ate vegetables. Whether y'all agree with me or not, y'all ain't going to agree with me. But eventually, because the animals kept eating our shit, so we ate the animals. That's how that started. But yeah, a lot of us, yeah, because that's that's a whole nother video. I'm not gonna get into that because a lot of people they don't like that. So I'm not gonna subject y'all to that. But what I'm saying is that if you are farming, even if you have like sheep and cows, you got to shoot the coyotes. You got to shoot coyotes. Don't move out west. You got to shoot bobcats. You got to shoot shit up. You got to shoot bobcats, coyotes, goddamn, you got coyotes, you got foxes, you got what other wild coyotes, foxes, coyote foxes. Y'all help me out, man. It's so much wildlife you got to goddamn contain out there. You got to light them up with some lead. There's so many animals you have to light up with some damn lead to protect your other animals. Hell, you got to protect your dogs and cats. They say Trump, eating the dogs, they're eating the cats. Well, we don't talk about the other wildlife that eats dogs and cats, like goddamn bobcats, goddamn coyotes. A coyote will befriend your dog and take that dog to the pack, and they'll tear your dog up, man. And cats too. You know what I'm saying? So, you can't befriend cats. You can befriend dogs. Dogs are more friendly, but cats, they're more suspicious. So it's harder. But other wild cats can catch your cat. Speaking of cats, there's a bobcat in my neighborhood. So yeah, man, you better arm. Yeah, you better arm every citizen because, and we're not talking about how we're cutting down the trees. And a lot of these animals are homeless, and so these animals are coming into getting into your trash can, the bears and all that, But I see both sides, man. But that's a whole other topic too. But yeah, basically what I'm saying, yeah, restore the gun rights. There's so many, like I said, guns serve multiple purposes. Like I said, not just protection from an invasion in your house or your business or your family, but critters goddamn coming at your goddamn garden and your farming and your animals and all that. Yeah, you need firearms. And then this helps because if we have a armed society, this deters any type of invasion. Any type of invasion from any type of country. Y'all know we had an open border. Let's not talk about the open border, right? We had open border for a very long time, and a lot of people got unalived from them borders. So yeah, we need our guns. Yeah, we need our guns. We need our guns. Convicted felons who have served their time, and hell, you serve their time, man. Yeah, get your gun. As long as you can vote and goddamn serve, you get your gun rights back. So let me see. R says, I hate when the Second Amendment has become I hate anything Trump, but I will say this, either all should carry or basically none. No ex-mafia members should not be allowed to carry. He has body on him despite him not being convicted or murder or not. Okay, R, you got. You know what? I can't be mad at you, bro. I can't be mad at you. Um, I can't be mad at you, bro. I so you're entitled to that. I would have to agree to disagree. Um, you say that man probably has bodies on him. Yeah. I don't know. I don't know. What about Wes Watson? Or what about Wes Watson? Should he get his gun rights back? I think Wes Watson should get his gun rights back. Now, I hear what you're saying about Michael Franchese. You know, I get it. I totally get it. I get what you're saying. But what about Wes Watson? You know, what about Wes Watson? So I don't know. I don't know. Let's see. Joker says we should feel safe in our country, but elections officers and three-letter agencies are openly committing treason against American people. That is true. Yeah, we have to stay armed. We have to keep our people armed, man. So I agree with you, Joker, man. Um, I agree with you on that. Joker on phase, tell him how you do feel safe. Okay. I don't feel that the government should be deciding who should allow to carry. I agree with that, Tina. I totally agree with that. I think, yeah, I think rights should be restored to felons. Like I said, if you know, and the reason I disagree with the Michael Franchese part is because he's never been convicted of any murders. So that's where I would disagree with you, R. So yeah, I think Michael Franchese should get his gun rights back because he's never been convicted. He's been convicted of, I think, the gas fraud, the tax fraud, and all that, but he's never been convicted of murder. So I would wholeheartedly disagree with you. But you're entitled to that. I'm not saying you're wrong for the way that you feel. All I'm saying is that you most likely, I don't know what state you in. If you in Georgia, you Georgia. So yeah, and um, we need voter ID because, as y'all know, and the Democrats are now admitting this. Lindy Lee, she admit this on Michael Franchise's channel, is that a lot of illegals not only registered to vote, but they actually voted. The DOJ is going after them, but yeah, a lot of the people, a lot of the people in the DOJ voted. Okay, all right, let me ask you this. Okay, you know what? I got you. R, should Hunter Biden get his gun rights back? Answer that question, and I'm gonna let you know what I think. I'm gonna give you my answer on that. Should Hunter Biden? In fact, I'll give you my answer now. Should Hunter Biden be allowed to carry a gun? I say yes. I say yes. Now he should clean himself up. Now I think like driving. Well, see, I think having a gun while intoxicated should be like a DUI. Like if I'm driving a truck, right, I get pulled over and I get tested and I have alcohol in my blood, I can get my license suspended. They should do the same with guns. It should be like a driving privilege. Like every citizen is entitled to get their driver's license, right? And I think a driver's license, to me, in my opinion, is just like having a gun. Like it should be a privilege, and it's needed in a lot of things. Like I said, hunting, protecting your farm, protecting your family. I think, like I said, I'm all for it. I'm all for, like I said, because convicted felons can vote and they can sit on jury pools. Why not? Believe it or not, Michael Franchese can sit on a jury pool if they decide they want to have him on a jury pool. I'm just saying, but like I said, we'll agree to disagree. I'm not saying that you're wrong. I'm just saying if you live in Georgia, you're going to get outvoted. And I don't know what state you live in, but if that state allows convicted felons to vote, most likely you will be outvoted. I guarantee that. I'm guaranteeing that. And most states have convicted felons. I just don't know which ones allow them to vote. But yeah, you get your voting rights back. And as long as you like I said, I knew this was coming. You get your voting rights back. You're poised to be a majority and get your gun rights back. And here we are. Here we are. So yeah, good move by Donald Trump, because Donald Trump and Barack Obama had a lot of convicted felons vote for them, especially when Donald Trump had got his mugshot. But felons were voting long before Donald Trump got his mugshot. Like I said, a lot of convicted felons voted for Barack Obama. So Democrats and Republicans are going to try to take full advantage of this. So Trump is just taking it a step further. So under Obama, you got your voting rights back. Under Obama, you were able to serve on a jury. Trump just taking it a step further. You know what? We'll top that. You're going to get your gun right back. So yeah, I think it's a genius. I think it's genius. I think it's wonderful. So yeah, but this is going to be interesting. Like I said, whatever pushback this gets, the felons will be there because the felons can vote. So they have a say in this too. And I think that the felons are going to outnumber the non-felons on this. That's my prediction, people. The felons will outnumber the non-felons. Like I say, I'm predicting in other states, that's what will happen. Guaranteed, the felons are going to outnumber the non-felons here in Georgia. So felons are going to get in Georgia. Felons are going to get the gun rights back because the felon voters outnumber the non-felon voters here in Georgia. I guarantee that. I guarantee that. So again, I can't speak for any other state but Georgia. I can't speak for no California. I can't speak for no Colorado. Definitely not no Wisconsin. But I can speak for Georgia, which is a red state. And let me tell you, I saw it under Obama. So yeah, let me read some of these comments. Tina said, like you said, all should carry or none. However, I feel all should be allowed to carry if they choose. A government could not allow it to all. Someone they can carry. I totally agree, Tina. Joker says, now Joker's a 3%er, so I would definitely want to see what he got to say about this. And the reason I say 3%er, because the militias, again, are their membership is about to go through the roof. Their membership is about to go through the roof. Let me tell you. You know what's so weird, too? I'm going to tell y'all. A lot of y'all don't know this. I know this, but a lot of y'all may or may not know this. I'm assuming. I'm just making an assumption because it's well known here in Georgia. If you are a convicted felon, a county, all counties here in Georgia have a right to squash your record if they want to deputize you.